What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Junkies Podcast. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe today. We got a lot of content dropping, Steelers related, NFL related, so be on the lookout for that. We got a problem with dropping next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday we'll be dropping a new problem with where we'll go into detail on a very special NFL team to me because where I stay, there's a lot of fans for this certain team, even though I don't go for them. So new problem with, be on the lookout for that, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and be on the lookout for a lot more content. We got some stuff cooking up for you guys when we hit 200 subs, so help us get there. We're gonna talk about my team. For you guys, the OG fans on the podcast, you guys all know I'm a Steelers fan. I've been a Steelers fan for over a decade, more than a decade. I don't know how long it's been. Since I started really watching football, which was in like 05. I remember playing Madden 06. I think Madden 06 it was. And I know I was a Steelers fan then, and I'm a Steelers fan now, and I'll be a Steelers fan till the day I die. But I'd be curious. I'd be a clown to not say that this team doesn't make me more angry than it makes me happy these days. Like back in the day, I could watch this team, and once the game ended, I was ready for the next game. It's kind of the opposite now. Watching this team play football is devastatingly boring. It's not the defense. I love when that defense steps on the field because they come out there and they show off every single play. They show out as much as they can when the offense decides to help them. But man, watching this offense is like watching paint dry. It's gotten worse. And hear me out. A lot of people are overreacting in the media, and I don't want to be one of those people that overreact and say, oh well, this is, Matt Canada is not going to work and this and that. And I'm not going to overreact. Do the Steelers look like contenders? No, we do not. We don't at all. And it's only been 2 games, and I remember the Chiefs first got good at football. At the beginning of the season, they weren't that good. I remember the Steelers played them, and we beat them like 40-10 or something like that. But by the end of the season, they had completely turned their team around. I remember Tyreek Hill got involved in the offense, and that's when the Chiefs really became a threat in football. So it's definitely not over. The season's not over, and a lot can change. But at this certain point, there are a lot of problems with the state of this team, and it's keeping us from, I feel like, being really that good. And I just kind of wanted to dip into it a bit because we've had about 6 games to see this new offense now, or really 2 if you want to consider just the starters. But the Steelers look pretty good in the preseason, which you would expect. You're going against a bunch of backups. Matt Canada's offense is a lot of pre-snap motions, moving guys around, really trying to get guys open any way possible. And it's still not working. It's not really working. The offense is still bad, and honestly, I don't know what it revolves around. I'm sure it's revolving around the fact that we don't have an offensive line. Matt Canada's offensive system really is built for a team with a great offensive line, and the Steelers simply don't have that. Can I just say one thing really quick? Let me say one thing. Kendrick Green was a great draft pick. Complete dark horse. He completely made me, regret what I said about us should have taken Creed Humphrey, and I'm really thankful for that because Kendrick Green has definitely been one of the more impressive rookies. I think with PFF, which is a pro football grading service, he's got a high grade. So shouts out to the Steelers because they definitely didn't miss on that. Kevin Dotson is pretty decent still. Chucks is bad, very bad. Trey Turner spit in the guy's face and got ejected. And who else is on our offensive line? I don't know. Did I just name the entire offensive line, or am I missing a person? He's probably not playing good. So, Dan Moore. If he's even starting, I don't think he is, but Dan Moore. The offensive line still sucks, man. Regardless of all of that, the offensive line is terrible. Kendrick Green will become a monster. Hopefully Kevin Dotson can continue to elevate his game. He's still kind of playing the same as last year. He hasn't really gotten better. He's still playing good, but he hasn't really excelled. And I know Kendrick Green will probably become a monster at that center position. The Steelers know how to draft their centers. You know what I'm saying? It's really easy, but yeah, the offensive line still sucks. Najee Harris, we drafted him in the first round, and I as much as I hate Booger McFarland, he was speaking facts on draft night. He said, "Look, man, you want to fix your run game, you draft offensive line, not a running back." And that made a lot of sense. But as much as I wanted Najee Harris, I think it is smart because the Steelers are building a young offense, and we got Deontay Johnson. Juju won't last long, but we got Deontay Johnson, we got Claypool. James Washington is probably gone, I'm sure, but we got two very good wide receivers that we're building around, and we got Najee Harris now in the backfield with Benny Snell, and in the second round we took Pat Freiermuth, so we now have a young tight end as well. That looks like he looks like he's going to be a legit threat, and I know he's graded out well this season so far as well on PFF, and he's looking like he might actually do something. But I really think second round, it wasn't really the time to go tight end. I think we should have gone offensive line. Najee Harris is fighting for his life in the backfield. He's not really able to do anything. And the sad part about it is we keep trying to feed him the ball, but it's just not working because the line, when they snap the ball, the gaps close so quickly. And what makes me mad is that the Steelers fired their offensive line coach, and instead of going out and getting somebody very well qualified, the Steelers think it's smart to say, oh, let's just hire his assistant. Mike Tomlin fires the offensive line coach and says, let's just bring in his assistant. What are we doing? I mean, I don't think that's a smart idea. I don't think it makes sense. And so far it has not worked because the offensive line still looks piss poor. And Najee Harris is fighting for his life in the backfield. I don't know how many yards per carry Najee Harris is averaging right now, but I'm going to tell you, I know it's not pretty. I ended up having to turn this game off. This Raiders game was very disappointing because, from the beginning, you could just see. I mean, let's just be honest here. If we're lucky right now, because honestly, this team should be 0-2. Our defense won us the first game, and our offense got caught flat-footed this game. T.J. Watt was injured and he wasn't playing. We didn't have Joe Hayden, so we were destined to pretty much lose this game. And it sucked because T.J. Watt was having a great first quarter, first half whenever he got injured, but he was playing great until he got injured, and the team completely fell apart after that, and Derek Carr absolutely ate us alive. We don't have many ball hawks on our team, so we're struggling. Not only are we struggling, but we're in desperate trouble. We let Derek Carr pass for almost 400 yards. Henry Ruggs, a guy who's been decent as a guy, he cooked us for 5 catches, 113 yards. The only goodness that came out of this game really is that we were able to sort of stop the run, but Schobert was getting eaten alive on defense. Ruggs was cooking us. He cooked us for that touchdown, which I believe was Minka's fault. And I don't really want to get on the defense because like I said, the defense fights for their life week in, week out, every play because the offense is so bad. The defense never really gets any rest, and I just want to know. This is what I stated last week after the game. We need to create an official Twitter so you guys can follow that and kind of see more of my thoughts on games as they end. But the Steelers are stuck in 2010. And our system that we're trying to run here with this whole next man up mentality that Mike Tomlin has installed will not win us a Super Bowl. And it's quite as simple as that. And it's not even the fact that I think that, it may come down to Ben. Guys make these statements about Ben saying, oh, he throws the ball so quickly, man. It's like, oh my God, he gets the ball out so quick, he doesn't have time to get sacked. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he has to throw it in 2 seconds is not a good thing because one, these 2-second throws are 3 to 5 yard checkdowns, which he's been very inaccurate on this year for some reason. It's not good at all. It's not like they boast about it every week, and I'm like, that's not a good thing. If I want my quarterback to be able to drop back and survey the field before he's throwing the ball down, so we can get those deep balls back. Because if you notice, we really don't have a deep ball much. We'll get one, maybe one or two a game, 1 or 2 every 2 games, but we don't really have a deep threat anymore when it comes to the passing game, and we have no run game. So how do you expect this team? How do we expect this team to go to the Super Bowl and succeed, or go to the playoffs? Period. Because that it looks like we're gonna have a hard time doing that this year. For being realistic, this roster is great, and that's the sad part about it, is how good this roster is. But the offensive line it's just so broken. The offense itself is so bad, and I know I keep saying the offensive line, but I really don't think it all boils down to that. I really think it boils down to Ben. I think Ben's lost a lot of his confidence in the pocket and on the field. I think he's really afraid of getting injured. Ever since that elbow injury, I really feel like Ben just hasn't been the same. Like he's not mentally on the football field. I mean, he almost retired last season. Keep that in mind. And Ben's an older guy, but I still think he could have played for a few more years. But he's tired of getting beat up. He's tired of getting injured. And he's, at this point of his career, it's like, why am I going to risk a long-term injury in my older ages? And it makes a lot of sense if I'm Ben. And I wish the best for Ben. When I first became a Steelers fan, he was the quarterback. So I always have a special place for Ben Roethlisberger, man. He's that guy for me. I have his jersey. And he's an important guy, but respectfully, the team won't really get better until he's gone and we have another quarterback. I know I saw that Colbert was looking at Sam Howell from North Carolina, and before people bash that, he's actually a very good quarterback, and I think he'll work out well in the NFL. He's from North Carolina. I think I just said that, but he's from North Carolina. He's got a great arm, some great accuracy, and he can move in and out of the pocket with ease. So Sam Howell's definitely a guy we want to look at, and it doesn't look possible like we'll grab him. I mean, it does now, because honestly this season does not look too bright as of right now. Remember though, it's still early and we can still fix it. It's not over, but as of right now, this team looks like the third best team in the division, if I'm being real with you. I mean, the Ravens just beat the Chiefs, and the Browns probably have the best roster in the NFL. So the Steelers are in a bit of a pickle. We play the Bengals, so if we lose to the Bengals, then we're definitely in trouble. And I mean that a lot. The Bengals will have Joe Burrow back, Jamar Chase, the rookie wide receiver. I don't know who else they drafted. I know they got Mike Hilton. I don't know. He said he wanted to sack Ben. I don't know how much that's going to really affect or help them, but if we lose to the Bengals, we definitely have a problem. And I know Ben, this will be Ben's last season to get back on the whole quarterback conversation. This will be Ben's last season, I'm sure. I think he said it would. And I really hope we can do something, because one, we're not winning the Super Bowl, and I say that as an honest fan. We're not on that level yet. When you look at the Bucks, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Browns. I mean, you look at these teams that are competing, I just don't think we've reached that level yet. I like Mike Tomlin's ability to win football games. It's great, but he has to revolutionize this team, and this team is not in anywhere near shape or form ready to compete, because we're stuck in 2010. So maybe by the time the year 2031 rolls around, the Steelers will look like a team that's ready to win a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin might have woken up by then, and built this team the way it needs to be built. I mean, we're building a team on defense, which is smart, but the NFL has changed recently to where it's more of an offensive league now. So you need an offense to win. And if the Steelers can't run the ball and the offensive line is purely garbage to where your quarterback has to throw the ball in 2 to 3 seconds after getting the snap, we're in big trouble. And that's not going to allow us to sneak our way into the playoffs. You saw it last year. That how bad the offense was good enough to make us go 11-0. But as soon as we got in the playoffs, we got exposed, and that's going to continue to happen every single time. And no matter if Tomlin sneaks us into the playoffs this year, we're going to get exposed, because we're not playing the bottom feeders of the NFL every week now. We're playing the good guys. So I need Mike Tomlin to wake up and revolutionize his team, and I think it'll start maybe next season. Hopefully it will. Let's hope he wakes up and gets us a quarterback, and we start moving this team the right way. I don't think we'll have Juju next season. We'll have Najee. We'll have Deontay Johnson. We'll have Chase Claypool. That is a great young core offense. We'll have Pat Freiermuth. We'll have Kendrick Green playing center. We'll have Kevin Dotson. That's a great, some great pieces to build around. I think we go quarterback. Maybe we do need a corner. We do need a cornerback in this draft, so I think we go cornerback in the second round. First round's got to be quarterback. Second round, we go for a corner, and then the rest of the draft just needs to be strictly offensive line, because we're lacking there tremendously. We signed TJ Watt, so we don't have to worry about him going anywhere. I think it was for at least 4 years, so thank God for that. I don't know why it took as long as it did. If I was a team, I would have walked in there with a check and said, write it down. Just write it down. What do you want? Write it down, and we would have got it done. But This has been Kid on the Sports Junkies, guys. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, disagreements, agreements, let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. Any feedback is welcomed on the channel, and any conversation spark. We like to respond to our fans, and be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow the Instagram at Sports Junkies Podcast for any daily updates on what we might be thinking. And we're getting that Twitter ready. And remember, 200 subs, we got some special stuff planned for the channel. We got an all new series that'll be coming out, and we're going to be rebranding the channel, giving some good looks and some good looks for the channel and stuff. So be sure to keep in the loop on that, guys. And until next time, it's been Kid. See you soon.